Hey everyone, Laura here.
Tanya here.
We've been friends for over a decade and worked together for a long time in call centers as agents, quality analysts, managers, and supervisors.
In 2018, we started up this podcast to talk about the batshit bonkers bullshit we see and continue to see in our time at work and at home as consumers.
We also share your stories as both consumers and as employees.
So keep 'em coming to Q as in cucumber at yahoo.com.
We host the show anonymously and use aliases. In the stories we tell, we change names and identifying details of people, locations, and companies.
We also share your emails anonymously, so any similarities to real people, locations, or companies is purely coincidental.
So if you think we're talking about you, guilty conscience much?
Now on with the fun.
Love your faces.
Smooches.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
This job would be great if it wasn't for the fucking customers.
We're always this stupid. It is you take lessons.
Just calm down.
Oh, fuck you!
You can't handle the truth.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
In other words, be nice, asshole.
Gracious goodness. Let's just kick it off. Welcome to another episode of Q's and Cucumber, the podcast where we point and laugh at stupid customers and coworkers alike. I'm Laura Mack.
And I'm Tanya Edwards. You dumbass. I swear.
Oh, gracious. It has been a week. We are recording remotely again because I am officially off quarantine. Thank God. And because literally so we recorded our election episode, which, by the way, I have to give a tiny little shout out to one of my very, very sweet, lovely coworkers. You know who you are. She listened to our last episode about the election, and she texted me and was like, "Okay, now I feel like I can talk to you and not be scared."
Uh,
And I was like, oh my God. And I felt bad. I was like, did you think I was a Trump supporter? Oh, honey, what did I do? You need to tell me so that I can not
right, I need to
do
rectify
that.
this situation immediately.
Thank you. Like, please tell me what I need to do that you thought I might be. Oh, dear God. Um, but she's very sweet. But so we recorded our election episode, and that afternoon, my phone fucking blew up from TJ's school saying that somebody in one of his classes has tested positive and therefore he was exposed and we needed a quarantine. And I was like, oh my God, I just saw Tanya and hugged her, and TJ saw you and hugged you. And I was like, oh, fuck me. And I freaked out and like blew up Tanya's phone and was like, you need to answer your phone. Like, it's like fucking shit. So we've been quarantined ever since. We just got off quarantine on Friday, but what's crazy is, they for HIPAA reasons they can't tell you who it was, right?
Yeah.
But I got a call from one of his teachers now that because the whole school has now transitioned to e-learning. They're not going back until next year,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I got a call from one of his teachers wanting to set up these reading group times. And I knew it was her class where he had been exposed. And I asked her, I was like, how are you feeling? Like, like, I didn't want to be like,
Right.
was it you? Like, it sounded accusatory with the poor woman,
Right.
right? So I was just like, how are you feeling, if you don't mind my asking? And she was like, oh, I'm fine, but I can officially say I survived COVID. And I was like, oh, it was you. Okay. And she's 28, she's a runner, and she was just like, it just felt like my lung, every time I coughed, it felt like my lungs were on fire from the inside out.
My god sister has it.
Right. How's she doing, by the way? You mentioned that on our last episode. She's starting to get better, or is it still?
So now her son has it.
Oh, fuck.
And he's I'm gonna say 10. But he's so she can't taste anything and he can't smell anything. So
What a pair.
I know. But we're still like doing the whole food drops and stuff like that, and then running away,
Yeah.
and knocking on the door with a bag of groceries and running off. But she's doing okay. She's just ready to be able to go back to work, but
I'm
she
sure.
can't because she does healthcare, and
Right.
she needs to get two negatives, and she can't get
Mhm.
those two negatives. But her boss, I don't know who she works for, but her boss is a real piece of shit. I thought I worked for a place. Boy, her boss is just like, well, why can't you come back to work? Bitch, because I have COVID. So yeah. And as much as she would love.
Like I told my boss that like we had been exposed and she immediately I was like, we haven't gotten tested, we haven't gotten positive tests, like nothing. And my boss immediately leaped into action and like sent a Kate like a work item to our HR and was like, if Laura or her son or her husband get it, we need to have emergency time off. Like she's all prepared. Like if for some reason we got sick, she like HR, she leapt on it even like
So we've had a few
when
people.
nothing had happened. So that makes me grateful. Hi Sophia. Sophia's in the background waving. All right, so we got some pretty awesome emails
Oh boy.
um from our wonderful Q crew here. All right. This one is I might I guess I'm gonna start big here because this is kind of long, but man, is it worth it? Just oh, wow. All right, this is from Mo Murphy in from Florida.
Mo Murphy. I feel like I'd want to go hang out with Mo and have beer and crab legs.
Oh, trust me, I would love to. I would love to hang out with Mo. All right. So Mo says, I work for a large financial firm. We have a much older client base, and many of our calls are us patiently helping elderly people get online. Sometimes it's actually a joy. Like the day I showed a little old lady how to have two pages open at the same time on her web browser. She was so shocked at how easy it was, and she giggled like a little girl and said, "Ooh, the power I
Oh
have now."
no. Okay.
And thanked me laughing for teaching her something new.
Mhm.
But sometimes it's painful, but not always for us. I took a call this week from an elderly customer who did not have a computer and has no idea how to use one. So he went to his local post office. I really want to highlight that in this story at this point. He went to his local post
Hmm.
office to use their public computer and get some assistance, which I didn't realize the post office had I knew
Yeah, neither
libraries
did I.
did.
Like, I mean, I had to go to the post office. What was it like last summer?
I know you can do it at
I had to.
UPS, like I've done it to print
Yeah,
something
I
off
had to.
at the UPS
Right, right,
store.
and I had to go
Like,
to the big one downtown, the post office downtown, to get mine and Sophia's
mhm,
passports. I didn't see any computers
mhm.
in there. Like, yeah.
I don't know, but I guess maybe there are
Okay.
some. So it says he went to his local post office to use their public computer and get some assistance. What he wanted to do was log in and print off 2.5 years worth of statements, monthly statements. Now, he had called in, I noticed from the notes, the week before, and had asked that we mail them to him, which he mentioned at the start of the call. I noticed we mailed them, but they hadn't had enough time to get to him. But I thought in my head, should be any day now, but he was insistent that he wanted to log on and do this at the post office. On the call, we had on that call from the week before, we had also issued him a temporary password to log in, where once you log in, it makes you set up a new password, set up 4 random security questions and answers that you have to choose, and an additional security measure where we either text or email you a code to verify it's you and not just someone with your username and password. So, at this point in the story, basically, where he's going to the post office. He has a temporary password that we gave him last week that apparently he wrote down, and he needs to use it, set up a new password, set up security questions and answers, and set up I think it's called multi-factor authentication, where you receive a text or
Yeah.
an email with a code to log in. Okay, fine. The issue on this call, though, is that the temporary password isn't working, so he needs a new one. I give him a new one and then sit on the phone waiting as this poor postal worker I can hear in the background tries desperately to help him. And this was a shit show. First, the temporary. Yeah, I know.
A
It's
shit
bad.
show.
Exactly. First, the temporary password
Which,
doesn't
oh, hold
work.
on. Which,
Then we
by the
get it
way,
to
is like
work.
my favorite phrase to use during the day at work. So, just so you know.
What? Temporary password?
Shit show.
Oh, shit show. I'm like, why is temporary password your favorite
Right?
thing
I
to
just have to say
say?
it all every day. I love it.
It's just weird. All right. So, first, the temporary password doesn't work. Then we get it to work, but it won't take him to the next steps to get him logged in. So, I have to call help desk. Then we get that solved. Now, this poor postal worker is this the postal worker because this dude doesn't know how to use a computer. The postal worker is the one that we're literally playing telephone. Like Mo is giving him the
Right.
information. He's telling the postal worker what to type in for him because he doesn't know how to do any of this. Just good Lord.
That's all too much.
Yeah. Now, this poor postal worker has to read him a list of 36 different questions that you have to choose four from for your security questions and patiently wait until he picks and then gives four
Nah,
answers.
Chief. We ain't doing all that. I'm going to pick you 4 questions. I'm going to ask them to you. What was the color of your first car? Bam. What was your dog's name? Bam. What street did you live on?
Thank
That's all I'm
you.
doing. I'm not going through 36 fucking questions, sir.
No, this gets worse. This gets worse. This postal worker is the most patient person on planet Earth. Okay. After all that, then the guy won't choose between getting an email or a text with the code. We finally get through all of that. And this is where the client breaks it to the postal worker, which apparently he hadn't done up until this point, that what he wants him to do is click individual monthly statement PDFs and download and print them. All 36 of them.
And they're usually like, when you get your statement, they're like 3, 4, 5 pages long, depending on how much activity there was.
Thank you. The postal worker is so close to going postal, and I can hear it. So I try to diffuse the situation because for some reason I am still in this situation. Like Mo is sitting on the phone like it worked. Like
And
I
this is
am kind of
why,
done.
I'm about to just give up on being in call centers and doing customer service, because the way my nerves are set up, and
Oh yeah, right now
the way my nerves are
it's
set
just too
up
much.
and the way my mouth runs, I just
Mhm.
don't have, like, I'm lucky I'm not on the phones. Like, I had to take calls the other day and I had to go back and listen because I thought
Mhm.
that maybe I might have said shut the fuck up or something out loud to somebody,
Oh
because I
Jesus.
was just
That would have been
right
bad.
in my head. I know I was like, shut the fuck up, you stupid ass. And I needed to make sure that my filter was still on, and I did not say it, nor did it come across that way in the call. So I had to go back and listen to my calls because I was just like, oh shit, did I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what kills me is I've felt the same way, but then I just had a meeting with my supervisor who listened to some of my calls, and she was like, "God, your calls are just such a joy to listen to."
Aw.
And I'm thinking in my head, wow, it's got to be muscle memory because I don't feel like my calls sound like a joy to listen to.
So yeah, because our CEO,
But I guess they are.
our
Like,
old CEO was listening to calls on a holiday one time. We call them business critical days, right?
mhm.
And I think it was Valentine's Day. And so we've got 200 calls in the queue, and they have all the supervisors. They call it an all hands on deck. So all the supervisors, anybody gets on the phone, and you
Mhm.
just take these calls, take them, get them out of the
Right.
queue. So I'm on the phones, and she's like, "Is Tanya taking calls?" And my boss was like, "Yeah, Tanya's taking calls." She was like, "Oh, this doesn't even sound like her," because I kid you the fuck not, you know how I talk in real life, right? On the phones at this point, because to me, I'm being a smartass. To them, they think I'm being,
Susie Sunshine.
Right. My name is Tanya. What can I make for you today? And I'm like, ooh, you know what? That meal comes with 2 of our great Cheddar Bay biscuits. Did you want to get a half
So it
dozen?
didn't even sound like you, and she was like, "Wait,
Right.
is this really
Right.
Tanya, or something wrong with the
She
phones?"
came out.
Ah!
She came out on the floor and she was just like, what the fuck? Because your normal voice is like
Does not
you're
sound
you're
like
a
that.
giant middle finger walking around. And then I listen to you on the phones and I'm like, who in the hell did she get to take phone calls for her? Because this is not her.
It didn't sound like you. I'm telling you, it's got to be our muscle
Yeah.
memory having done this for so
Well,
goddamn
and
long.
in my head, remember when I was still in the project world to be a QA, and
Mhm.
I used to have to sit by you guys and take phone calls, and Carly would be like throwing shit at me all day because
Yes, she would.
because I would be like, "Sir, I don't know."
And then she'd be like, "Tanya."
And she might throw a stuffed squirrel at me, a piece of candies, something. Yeah.
This is before we started calling you Banya.
Yeah.
But I hear in my head, I hear her being like, "Banya," like, stop.
Right. Yes. Oh my God, Tanya, stop it. Yeah. So that is always anytime I have to take phone calls.
So now in your head, Carly is still sitting behind you, silently throwing things at you, and you don't want her to.
Right.
And you really want to be a QA. So that's how you're taking calls.
Right. Basically.
Oh my
And that's
God.
how I feel like whenever I'm taking calls, and then I kind of channel my inner Carly
Carly.
because she sounds like a damn crazy person on the
Oh.
phones.
Oh my
Like,
God, Carly on the phone.
Somebody could be cussing her out, calling her everything but a child of God, and she is just like, "Oh no, I can definitely understand your frustrations, but you know what? I'm gonna help you." And I mean,
And you know what? By the time we get off of this call, rainbows and bunnies are going to be popping out of your booty hole.
right, and little angels are gonna descend from heaven with Pop-Tarts. I mean, just that's. I mean, that's.
Because that's
That's
Carly.
Carly. That is Carly.
But that's what makes what I used to call in my head the Carly switch so satisfying, because because the fact that that's how she sounds, but she can turn it when she needed to defend us.
Right.
Like, it made people think that she was easily taken advantage of,
Yeah.
and she could so quickly snap and
Right.
be like, "Oh no, that's not my or what would she'd be like, "Oh no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
My team will not be doing X, Y, and Z because my team's responsibilities are X, Y, and Z over here. And that's what they will be doing. However, we will compromise in this way, and you can take it or you can leave it. Now, was there anything else I could help you?" Like, she was
Right.
so perfect in that, dealing with customers and dealing with people who were escalated. But when it came to like time for her to fight, that Carly switch was impressive.
Yeah, because
It was always impressive to
just
watch.
Carly is such like a hippie soul.
She is.
She really is a hippie soul.
She's this ethereal, just hippie angel
She really
that
is.
could seriously turn into like Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow in a second.
Yeah.
Like, you don't expect it, but she can totally Scarlett Johansson your ass.
Right.
And it's like, whoa, where the fuck did she come from?
Exactly.
Like,
exactly. So, and she just, that's what I try to kind of channel my inner Carly whenever I'm taking calls, because I think to myself, okay, if Carly heard this call, what would she say? Because our quality team is not as nearly as efficient as we were as quality, and the bar is not as high as it's food, so we were doing banking. Food and banking, kind of different, but still there needs to be good customer service there. And so, I just try to kind of gauge that. But it's just funny though, because whenever I take calls, like I even have some of my agents, I'll have them sit in with me, and we can do it on Teams where they can listen to me, and I can share my screen with them so I can show them what they need to be doing. And I take calls, and they're just like, "You're funny when you take calls." like, how am I funny? Like, this is I'm
Yeah, because you just don't sound like you.
right, yeah. So,
All right. So we got to get the punchline to this is crazy. All right. So back to the story. So the postal worker is close to going postal. So I tried to diffuse the situation, right? Because for some reason I'm still involved in this situation. Like poor Mo is sitting on the phone like, I got you logged in online. You just got to follow this. Like there's nothing I need to be here for. But
right.
at this point, Mo's just listening to the show. So Mo says, "Sir," because he realizes that this postal worker is about to freak out
Mhm.
because now he realizes he needs to click on 36 PDFs and download them each one at a time and print them, right? So Mo says, "Sir, we mailed those statements to you. They're on the way. You just need to give them another day or so. They just haven't had time to reach you." That is when this little old man crossed the line and dropped the hammer. He says loudly to me, but clearly the postal worker can hear him, "I don't trust the post office," practically spitting the words. "Nothing but lazy, good for nothing sons of bitches who work here."
But the guy
And goes, uh-huh, uh-huh, go and then proceeds to go on a tirade for 3 minutes about how lazy and awful the post office and its workers are. I'm sitting with my jaw in my lap. And this is what he is saying about the man who has been the most patient man on the planet with him. They finally start getting into a full on screaming match, with the postal worker saying, "Sir, I am running out of patience." And the man arguing with him saying, "Well, you're getting paid. I mean, you can at least help me." He's like, "Sir, I have a line of people here and you want me to do this." And they just get into a full on argument back and forth basically that just goes on and on and on, with him saying, "My taxes pay your salary," and him explaining, "Actually, taxes do not pay for the post office. The post office is not funded through taxpayer funds." Like, and they just get in this full on argument that I just sit and listen to, and finally the client or the customer says, "Okay, I think I'll handle it from here. Thanks, bye," and hangs up. Sir, did you you could have gone to the library
and
and
done
bitched
this.
about the post
Yeah, come
office.
on.
You could have gone to the library and bitched about the post office, but you went to the post office. What did you expect them to do and you still think they're bunch of lazy sons of bitches? Are you kidding me? You couldn't be bothered to learn computers. And you've had what, 40 years?
Right.
Okay? Or 30 years of computers being around at like for real?
But
Come
you
on.
don't trust the post office. Come on.
That blew my fucking hair back. I could not believe it. Where he was like, "I don't trust the post office." I'm like, "Sir, you're in
A post
the
office.
post
So
office."
what the hell? Yeah, no.
Like, what the fuck? Good job, Mo. That was not. I'm sure that was not easy
No,
at
no.
all
Yeah,
to
God
deal
bless
with.
you
Like,
cuz
I might have said I might have actually said something. Like, "Sir, you're in the post office and that man has been so patient with you. You might want to be a little bit nicer." Like, I might have actually said
right, like
something.
he's going out of his way to help you since you don't trust the company that I work for.
That you went to for
Right,
help.
to
It's
effectively,
not like
yeah.
you can only get to a public computer at a post
Right.
office.
Right.
I
You know
know
what?
you and I named at least two other
And
places, UPS store and a
and
library, where I
you
know
don't have
of.
no family or
Like,
friends that can help you out. Oh, that's right, because you're probably an awful fucking person, and they don't even want you at your
thank you.
house. So yeah, no,
Thank
wasting up
you.
all my fucking printer ink. Get out of here.
Thank you. Oh my god. Okay. That was just
Fucking
crazy.
asshole.
All right, so this is a short one, but this is funny. And she says it's a short one. This is from Cami in Wisconsin. Hi, Cami.
Wisconsin. That's where Avery wants to move there.
Wisconsin. Nathan wants to move to Alaska, and I'm
The
having
fuck
fits about
no.
it. Anyway,
Avery wants to move to a Wisconsin, and I just don't
no,
understand that
no,
at
I've been
all.
there.
No.
No offense, Cami. Just I wasn't impressed. Um, so Cami says this is a short one, but thought you'd get a kick out of it. I was putting a client on hold and transferring her. Right as I was hitting hold, she says, "Thanks," and then quickly yells, "Go vegan!" right as I hit hold. I sat there for a few
Eh?
seconds
Huh?
trying to figure out what the fuck just happened. And then I thought, I'll get right on that as I took a bite of my barbecue chicken sandwich.
Well, you know how sometimes, like, when
Go
people tell
vegan!
you,
Like, what
go
the fuck?
vegan, you know how when people tell you have a good day at the end of the call and you just automatically say you too? Like, I probably would have just said you too and kept on going.
I just think it's funny that, like, right as you're hitting hold, you hear "go vegan," and it takes you a second, like, for the words to process in your brain. And of all the
Right.
things you could yell, "go vegan,"
Go
that's
vegan.
your cause that you want to yell at random call center folk.
Go vegan.
Go vegan. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's
Great.
funny.
Good Lord.
Weirdos.
This was, oh my God, that cracked me up. All right, so this is from Tarika K from New Jersey. Now,
New
I
Jersey.
was delighted to check with George about this story, because there's an insurance element to this that I was like, uh, that's not right. Because okay, all right, I'll talk about the George part of this here after I tell the story. So this is from Tarika K from New Jersey. So when coming out of a store, I had my mask on, and so do many of the others in the parking lot. I start hearing a commotion and see a big truck driving up and down the lanes. The driver is laying on his horn, revving his engine, and yelling at people. Ooh, scary Corona. Ooh, scary Corona. I'm more startled and bewildered than anything else. Now, he pulls up next to my car or behind my car as I'm putting my groceries in the trunk.
You know what? This is why you ought to keep like a half empty bottle of soda or something with you. And when people
Just
do
be
that kind of
like,
shit, I just want to throw it at them. Yeah.
don't you? Like, good Lord. Now, apparently, just to give you like an idea of how this is going down, the way that Tarika explained this is she's about 2/3 of the way back of the in the parking lot, right? He has rounded the lane and his truck is facing towards the store, right?
Hmm.
So there's tons of cars parked between her and the front of the store, and he is driving towards the front of the store. Okay. So I'm more bewildered than anything else. He pulls up behind my car as I'm putting groceries in my trunk, lays on his horn, and yells, "Ooh, scary Corona. You scared? You scared? Wake up, lady." I give him a dirty look and yell back, "What the fuck is the matter with you? Seek help." Surprisingly, he looks shocked and angry and then snidely says, "Wow, nice, real polite, real ladylike."
Oh, you ain't seen shit. Talk to me like that and see what
Thank
happens.
you. Thank you. You're driving through a parking lot, laying on your horn, and you're like screaming at people, like, and I'm the one I'm supposed to be ladylike, but you can be the biggest dick on planet Earth.
Right.
Gotcha, right? The issue is he yells real nice, real polite, real ladylike, and then goes to peel out. But the issue is he has not been paying attention, and people have backed out of their parking spots, and he shoots forward and runs right into them.
That's what you fucking get, you dick.
Thank you.
Fucking dick.
I laughed and then realized, oh my God, maybe he actually hurt those people. So I ran over, made sure they were okay, and delighted in not only giving them my information to give their insurance company, but delighted a few days later when the four people affected's insurance company called me to ask for my statement. And I explained exactly what he was doing, yelling at me about Corona, saying I wasn't being a lady, and wasn't looking as he stepped on the gas to shoot forward. I hope they throw the book at him and his insurance rates triple.
What a fucking dick.
All right, so this is the last one. This is kind of a funny one. So this was from a listener, Mercedes Monroe from Pennsylvania. And Mercedes works in a grocery store, and she says, "This is a tip for shoppers and for store workers alike. Think outside the box, people. I'm working the checkouts to help get the line down, and this is the day when everyone has decided to panic buy toilet paper. I happen to see my mom come in, heading my way. I know that she's here for toilet paper. We are genuinely out. I don't acknowledge that I know her at all, and while still checking out my customer, my mother walks up and I tell her, no, get out and go to the local office supply store. I give her the name of the store.
Mhm.
My mom leaves, and the customer I'm helping looks at me, very confused. And I just say, "Sorry, that's my mom. She's here for toilet paper like everyone else because we're out." And the customer says, "Why did you send her to that office store?" And I said, "It's office supplies. They have toilet paper there. I'm just hoping no one remembers that so there's plenty left for her to go get some." The customer stops and stares at me for a second. And the customer says, "You are smart and will probably get through this thing just fine." When I got home that day after work, I was pleased to see that I was correct and there was still plenty of toilet paper left for us to get some. The weird thing is that it wasn't even the first time a customer's told me that. I apparently have a weird talent for knowing stores where people forget about knowing stores that people forget about that hold the items people want most in these weird times. Think outside the box, people.
I mean, yeah, and I've heard that before. The office supply places for like wipes too,
Mhm.
wipes and toilet paper. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's
You gotta. I think her point to the story is just for people who work with the general public, like thinking about those things that are kind of outside the box. Like, yeah, the place that you go to for things that everybody is going to for. Think about where else you might be able to get those things.
right.
Like the dollar store and the grocery store are gonna be out. I promise.
Yeah, you know what? And I went to Sam's yesterday, and they are out of almost all the toilet paper. The one over by you.
Mhm.
They're out of almost all the toilet paper aside from those giant rolls that you buy for like, airport bathrooms or some shit.
Oh, Jesus.
Um, that and then they didn't have any wipes.
Oh my God.
They didn't have any cleaning product that,
Yeah.
like yeah, so everything's starting to happen again.
Yeah. It is, and it's going to keep happening for a while. We just have to be safe and smart and
Yeah, and
you know, mm,
I think because it's coming like there has been such a we know we have 2 months until inauguration, right? And I
right.
think everybody's so freaked out because they really think that Joe Biden is going to President-elect Biden bitches is
Mhm.
going to just shut the shit down again, which
Right.
probably we do all need to be shut down for a minute because it's worked in other countries.
Mhm.
Um, and he's going
But
to
the
come up with
issue will be is that people won't shut down and they'll spend the time that we should have been shut down fighting it in court and fighting it out in public, and a true shutdown isn't going to happen.
right, right,
Like,
right, right. That's the shitty thing
that's the
too.
issue.
Like because we have so many people. Oh, you're infringing on my rights. Blah,
Oh, I was
blah.
watching a nurse the other day on, I can't remember what network it was, but she was saying that she was shocked at the number of people that she is caring for that are literally dying from COVID, that that are in the hospital, like dying from COVID, that are still arguing with her that it's a hoax and it's not real and they must have something else. And the doctors are just ignoring, what they're really sick with because it can't be COVID. And she said, and the only thing that finally shuts them up is when they
Is a
finally get so
ventilator down her
sick.
fucking throat? Yeah.
Yeah. She said that it shocked her how many people that she has been caring for that are in the hospital that still do not believe that this is real.
I
And
don't.
it's just
So a few weeks ago, my mother was like saying something about how yeah, this is stupid. And I said, because I said, oh, I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to start stocking up on a few things because I know that, they're getting ready to lock us down again. As a matter of
Mhm.
fact, Monday, so I know there's like 10 different counties in Colorado that are on red right now.
Mhm.
And they're going to put us on red Monday.
Yep.
So, things are going to be limited again. So,
Mhm.
um, I had told her, I said, I'm just going to stock up on a few things. And she was like, well, the cases are down and da 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 da. And I don't know why they keep saying this and everything else. Well, then, like a few days later, my god sister got it. And then her son got it. And then, um, she messaged me and she was like, hey, Rock has it, da 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 da. So I said, oh, I thought the cases were going down. I thought that it was going to
Mhm.
disappear after Election Day. I thought this was all a hoax.
Mhm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yep.
You know? And
Shocking.
yeah, I'm so sick of people, saying, oh, it's a hoax, it's a hoax, it's a hoax. It's not a fucking hoax.
No,
All
it's
these
not.
people are dying. All these people have it. But you continue to say shit like it's a hoax. Are you that fucking stupid that science just means nothing to you?
No, it doesn't.
I
It
tell you
doesn't.
what. I tell you what. Get cancer and don't go to the fucking doctor.
Did you watch Rachel on Thursday?
No, I did not
You
get a chance.
gotta
Oh,
watch
but
it.
this morning on, I want to say it was on Velshi, he talked about it and played what Rachel had said.
It was crazy watching Rachel Maddow talk about her girlfriend, wife, partner, Susan, and how, she said it's not like, she had said that the analogy of Susan is the sun and I'm a planet that just circles around
Yeah.
her gives too much credit to other planets. She is the planet and I'm just a satellite orbiting her and beeping at her trying to get her attention. I love her with a desperate ache. And it was just like, "Oh my God, seeing Rachel that emotional and
And
personal
vulnerable? Yeah, she
was
just doesn't
shocking."
do that. She
But
doesn't.
but I loved her point to where she's like, if you are looking, especially at Thanksgiving, at what you consider to be, a reasonable risk, she was like, it's not just risking you. It's think about the person that you love most dearly
Yep.
in this world. You are putting them at risk.
Yeah.
And like it made me cry. I was just like, "Oh my God." Like and she's absolutely right. That's why. So, I love my mother-in-law. I love her. She helps me. She helps me so much. Love her to death. But she is going to have surgery 2 days before Thanksgiving. And she was just going to have like a little Thanksgiving catered
Mhm.
for us, and it just be us and my in-laws and
Mhm.
TJ. Nathan has to work, and my parents were just going to join on a Zoom call,
Mhm.
right? Well, she waited too long, and now too many people have ordered catering, and there's no available orders left. So her and George get on the phone, and when they get to figure out what we're going to do for Thanksgiving, I shit you not. I'm not making this up. George hangs up the phone and looks at me and says, "Okay, change of plans for Thanksgiving. We're going to Cracker Barrel."
No.
I was like, "I beg your pardon? We're doing what? You want to go to Cracker Barrel on Thanksgiving in the middle of the third wave of a pandemic?" No, I put my foot, I most of the time when it comes to my mother-in-law and George, whatever plans they want to do, I just nod my head and smile. It's not worth the fight. Whatever. I put my foot down so hard the fucking earth shook. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I will make Thanksgiving. I will make Thanksgiving. Right? But now, here's the kicker part. I didn't think about this until after George called her and was like, no, that's a negative from Laura. That's not what we're doing." Right? I didn't think about this until a few minutes later. Um, we already agreed to make Thanksgiving for George's best friend who just had to have open heart surgery.
Oh.
Right? So now on Thanksgiving, I'm going to make enough for like 10 people, and
Mhm.
we're just going to split it up, and we're going to eat half and we're going to take the other half. So I got to make two Thanksgivings. I went from having to make no Thanksgiving to two Thanksgivings. I was just like, Oh my God. All right, I got to go to the bathroom like nobody's
Oh,
business.
Lord have
All right.
mercy.
We'll wrap this up for
Herky
today.
Durky.
Thank you all for joining us. Have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Please don't travel. Don't be around
Don't be
people.
around
Be
people.
smart.
Yeah.
Be smart. Okay. We're Zoom is lifting its 40 minutes free. And then they'll charge you like they're giving unlimited time on Thanksgiving. We're literally setting up a Zoom like for my parents to sit at the end of the table because my parents are staying home. So do that.
You
Just
can
meet on Zoom.
you can also
You can
use
talk.
Microsoft Teams. You can
Yes, you
download
can.
it because we use that at work a lot. So you can use Microsoft
George
Teams,
does too.
and you can add multiple people in on that as well. So that's a good alternative.
Just be
Just
safe
please be
and
careful and
smart.
wear a mask because there's people like me who have a real shit immune system. Yesterday when I was in Sam's, a whole fucking family. These fucking people, not a mask on, and the dad is steady fucking coughing like patient zero
You
all over the
just want to
fucking juice
shake
aisle.
them.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, thanks, thank you. So I was with Kiki and Twin, and they were, and so my mouth, right? Here they come, the fucking plague family, and Dad is coughing all over the place like the outbreak monkey. And I was like, thanks, because there's only people in this store that might have compromised immune systems like me, because I just got over having cancer, and my friend right here who had the same thing. So fuck me, huh? Whatever. You know what? I hope you fall over a fucking case of something. Get the fuck out of my face.
Oh my
Stupids.
God. Be smart, people. Be
Yeah.
smart and be courteous to other people. So thank you for joining us. Keep those stories coming at qasincucumber@yahoo.com. And until next time, have a happy holiday. I'm Laura
And
Mack.
I'm Tanya Edwards.
Love your faces.
Gobble gobble, bitches.
Like what you hear? Rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or your favorite podcasting platform. And follow us on our Facebook page by searching Q as in Cucumber. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching QAIC_Lara, LARA, and QAIC_Tanya, TANYA. Don't forget to check out our other show, hosted by me and Jessica James, called The Parent Memoirs. And we want to hear from you. Share your stories by emailing us at qasincucumber@yahoo.com, and you might just hear your stories on a future episode. Love your faces.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.